All right, welcome to class again. Today we're going to be looking at function and type annotations in TypeScript. So, how to type your functions in TypeScript. So, there are type annotations in two type of annotations, two type annotations in for functions, which is the type of parameters and the return type of the function. So, first you can type the parameters involved in the functions and also type what kind of data type the function is supposed to return. All right. So there are two types. So first of all, you're typing typed parameters, then parameters, comma, then type return type, what the function is returning. So the next is what does the function return. All right. So let's look at the basic function we type. Let's create a function. Say function add. So normally to look like this, the function declaration. Yeah. So this is a basic function. Let's type the function first of all. So let's say we have a parameter here. We'll say it has num1, comma, num2, num2. All right. So this okay. So it will return num1, num1 plus num2. So this is a basic. I want to do a basic kind of function for us here. All right. So how do you type this? There are two ways to type. Like you're saying, number implicitly has any type. So let's type. You can either you type the parameters, which are these are the parameters of the function. Then also or you can type parameters and also type the kind of data the function is going to return. So if you want to type the parameter, you come here. So this num1 will be supposed to be num1 will be a number, all right. Num2 also. So you're typing what you should receive. Num2 be a number also, all right. So after this now you can determine what after this you can type what this particular function is supposed to return. Is it returning a boolean as the end product? Is it returning a number as the end product? Is it returning a string as the end product? You can type a comment and say, okay, this is returning a number. All right, perfect. So this basic typing. All right. So here you have determined what this can receive. Did you get it? This will receive a number or a string, or this will receive a number. Then it will also return a number. You can say now return num1 and num2. All right. So the fact that this is returning a number now, if you come and say, okay, this is a string. Let's say, okay, Amaka, you have an error. You say, okay, type string is not assignable to type number. So because you have said that this can return a number, it will not return Amaka. So let me say, let's see whether you can change this to a string. What is it going to return? You see, there's no error here because it means that okay, the return type will be a string. So if Amaka, we can return Amaka here as a string. Did you get it? You can return Amaka here what? As a string. So let's go back, change this to number. So this, so you have to change it to num1 plus num2. Wow, this is perfect, all right? This is perfect. This is basic typing for a number. Here you can type with the function, you can type the parameters, and also you can type what the function is supposed to return. Okay, so we have function of say we have function that does not return anything also. In such case, how are you supposed to type such function? Function that does not return anything. So okay, like something like this now. Functions without return. Typing functions. Typing functions without the return. All right, so let me comment this before slash. So how do you type function that does not return? So let's say okay, function greet here. So this greet. All right, so this is a greet function. All right, so this will receive let's say this group now have a name here. So name, um, name will be a string. You're saying that name will be a string. Then this will return. Okay, we say this is not returning. So let's say we have like a console.log. All right. So console.log, you're like, okay, hello, hello, comma plus the name. All right. So this is not returning. This is not returning anything. Instead, it's console logging inside of the body of the function. So such that is not returning, you come here and you type it as the return will be a void. All right. You have to type it and give it a return type of void. All right. So function without return will receive a return type of void attached to it. Is that correct? So you have to get it done. Like so, let me say, okay, I input this function now. Let me work this out. Say greet. So great, if you have a parameters, so you add the parameter here using the to supply the parameter. If you have a parameter, then it's definitely will have an argument. All right, so let's add the argument to fit in the name. So okay, so name is Helen. Helen. All right, this is perfect. So let's console log this so I can see this on our console. Console the log Helen. Perfect. So let me run this on my board. Let's run this before then. Let me compile this. All right, so we compile. Let me go to my browser reload. Helen, hello, Helen. I see that. Hello, Helen. All right. So come and add so there'll be space between it. I come and say, okay, plots. Then I'll run this here to be perfect. Okay, we need to now run compile again. All right, so compile again here. So if you reload here, you have Helen like this. Helen like this. All right. Hello, Helen. So this is how you okay, let me say this train and error. Okay, so this is correct. I see that. So this is how functions are typed, right? If you type the parameters, and you type, and you can type the return type. All right. So there are cases also that there are cases where function can receive optional parameter. All right. There are cases where function can receive optional parameter. Let me say okay function person here. All right. We have this here. So the parameters here will be so this will return, let's say this will return a string. This is returning a string, all right? So here we'll have a name, the string, right? Name will be string, comma. Then we'll have age, will be number, all right? So we can come, if we want this to be an optional parameter, we can put this, all right? So here we'll come here, so to return, so let's use the backtick here. Backtick and say, okay, let's use backtick, okay. My name is name, and I am age, yes, oh, good. All right, so we have properly typed this. So I just want to show us the optional parameter here. Okay, let me do that. Optional parameter. All right, optional parameter here. So this is it now. So this, so let me come and create. Let me say console.log, we say person. So let's call the function person. Then inside we can have first is name, Emmanuel. All right. So then next can be 35. So this is an optional parameter. If I run this on my browser now, first of all, let me run this on my browser here. Okay. It's still compiling. My name is Emmanuel and I'm 35 years old. So what I'm trying to say, what we define age to be an optional parameter. So even though we don't supply this age, this number as an argument here, this is still going to run without an error. All right. But let's say we remove this optional symbol here. Okay, this question mark showing that as an optional parameter. You see, we're having an error here already. That okay, this argument has to be age, has to have provide for Emmanuel and age. So those are cases where you can just maybe the parameters can be an optional parameter. All right. So this is how it works. So here, if you put optional here, this will work. All right. But if it's removed, then you now have to make sure you add the age argument here. Did you get it? So this is when we work with optional parameters. All right. Thank you very much. See you some other time.